Assalamualaikum and welcome to a new video that we are going to talk about how to make a calligraphy pen with basically really low budget. Now some of us can't find any bamboo pens and they can't find any normal pens or inks actually. We've got the normal pencil. What you have to do with this thing is to sort of do it one side, keep doing this move until it sort of takes all the edges on one side. Then you would rotate it and make the same thing at the other side. You're basically sort of sanding it. Now you would check the tip of the pen, for example here. Yeah, you would start looking at it and see if it's sort of thin enough. Let me just try and focus this thing. So you keep looking at the pen, the tip of it. Now it takes some work. Basically, you've got the pencil looking like this, and then you have this tip here. And what you want to do is to get a flat surface of that. Basically, you want to sort of cut it in a way. So we've got the pen like this. And this circular thing, the circular edge of the pen will be chamfered, I think, from both sides, and eventually it will give you this shape. The circle will turn into the rectangular shape. Now you could make this quicker if you want by using a cutter. And you would simply do one side because it's easier with the cutter. And then you would do the other side, but double check before you do it because you want it to be exactly the other side. You see, now it's really sharp. And you would sort of do it a bit more on both sides, so that would be nice. Finally, you would do the tip to make the angle. It's like the sanding paper, but it's basically making the pencil. And this way you will start getting the thin line of the pencil of a calligraphy pen. And you would, let me just take the camera a bit upward. And this way you will get a calligraphy pen without ink or anything. And it's really nice. I remember back at school we used to make calligraphy pens this way. And as you can see, it will give you thin and sharp edges at the end. It works, but you will keep sort of fixing it. So as we can see here, but it will not work with the normal paper. It will not work with the calligraphy paper, the really sort of fine one. You're just going to use this with the normal inkjet or in notebooks. Again, give it a try. You could try Diwali with this, and it works, but you won't get a big thickness out of it because basically it's limited to the thickness of the pencil itself. So as you can see, you will get basically a 1.5 millimeters and a really thin line on the other way. And it's really useful, I mean, even for designing stuff. So let's say وَلَقَدْ does look good. I mean, it's not clear on the camera because it's a pencil, but this works. So you could use this as a pencil and make it into a calligraphy pen. Now this is the first option, which is for people who can't find inks, they can't find anything. So yeah, you could start doing it with pencils, and it's basically, I remember back in school we used it to make it this way, so that would be nice to work with. The second thing we are going to use is a bit odd. I've seen calligraphers use it, and it's this, the normal kitchen sort of cooking spoon. The nice thing about this, and I didn't really know it before, is that it's made out of bamboo. and you can't believe it, but it's really weird. It's the same thing as those huge pens we see calligraphers use. For example, these two, like this one and this one, they are all the same material, basically bamboo, and you can see the same texture and the same sort of material between this one and this one. Talking about the shapes of the wood. I think it's because bamboo does not sort of suck liquids, and this is quite obvious for cooking cutleries or cooking stuff. So what you can do with this is make a pen out of it. Let's assume that you could find ink, but you got stuck out the pen itself. And with this you've got a really wide range of sizes. Basically you can use the whole width of this thing. So this will give you 4.5 centimeters of width, but if you took it with an angle, you could reach 5 centimeters for scripts such as ثلث النسخ. But working on the tip is a bit hard. You will need some tools. So basically you need an accident. Oh, it's not breaking. I have to break it off camera. Give me a minute. So yeah, you need an accident where this thing is broken. Don't break your family's cutlery. If it was yours, then do it. But don't come to me saying, oh, I broke my wife's spoon and she's mad at me now. Then you will basically sharpen this and make it just like the normal calligraphy pen. You will start with the edges, obviously, and you will start taking all these bits off because it's just too much wood. The size is just too much. And you keep doing this until you reach to a place, because when I broke it, it sort of got really damaged inside. But you keep doing this until you reach a good area that is sort of workable and good enough to be a base for a pen. I'm going to do this off camera, and once I reach to a good point, I'm going to come back. We'll be back soon. Now, as we can see here, I've carved it into this shape. Now it needs more work to be done to make it look nicer. Now, while carving it, there was a kind of an area damaged by me breaking it. Now, I don't suggest that you would break it. It was just me just wanting to get rid of it and just get done with it. You should sort of use a saw or something to cut it through, or if it broke by itself, usually it won't be shattered like this, because I had to sort of go all the way down to here to avoid any damaged sort of areas for the pen. So you will find a really strict, nice material for a pen, and you would carve it to a really thin size like this one, with regards to the thin side. And for this one, you would, I would say, aim for a side. So for example, we've got two sides here for this spoon, and the tip here is more to the right side. This way you will make sure that you're getting a really strong part of it, because the center sometimes could be a bit soft. Now, I did carve the sides basically just like the carving videos I have, so go and check that on the way how to do it. Also, I will have to do this part. This area here needs to be kind of made a bit better looking. So if the pen looked more like this, if I took this amount of it, then I made it look nicer up here. Basically, I would get the shape of the pen to look like this, slightly going to the left, then continuing, and down here I will have a big curve, then going down. And I think this way you'll be really comfortable to write with, because I can see the letters and it will be really comfy to use. So yeah, basically these things I could do later on, but I wanted to show you the tip and how it's possible to make it with with this pen. Now I can try it to show you that it works, so that when you try it back home, you could. I did not sand it. I did not do any of the extra steps that I have to do, but it will work. I didn't try it because I wanted to try it first with you people. So you would simply use a dip ink, and let's start here, and there you go. You've got a really nice pen. Now these strokes, let me just zoom in a bit. With regards to the tip, because it's not really properly done, sometimes it will sort of give ink, but it's really good. It needs some sanding because it's making a lot of noises, and the tip, as you can see, is not properly chamfered. And this way you can get yourself a calligraphy pen out of a cooking spoon. Yeah, it's working. It's basically because it's the same material as normal pens, so, and you can get really big sizes. So for example, if you could find calligraphy pens that are 1 centimeters, that's good, but this one will give you at least 2, because it's really wide and the size of it is comfortable. You've got this small thing if you want to hang it anywhere, and I'm actually going to keep this one and just do a couple of things to it. I might do some decorations on both sides and keep it as a, I think I will use it because it's really comfy to hold, like it's not circular. By the way, there are those circular spoons. I've never tried those because the wood is really hard, and I think you could make those with tools instead of with hand. But I find this possible to do with hand. I mean, you have to be old enough and you need some strength in your arms to carve it, because it's really hard on the outside. I think they treat it in a way. So yeah, you will sand the sides too to make it look nice, because now it has all these dodgy marks from carving it. And for the other part of it, you see this one, I've seen a calligrapher who made it as a pen, and he actually uses it, but he kept it at one of the centers. It's not like his personal tool, but I think it was just to show people that they can make pens out of it. It has some curves in it, here and here, and those will prevent you from immediately using it as a pen, but you can sort of cut it from here. What you will have to do is get a pen or a pencil and start marking the areas you want it to be cut. So for example, I want it to be chamfered this way, and I don't need the whole thing, so I could just make it 3 centimeters long this way, and I want it then to curve like this. So you would draw the outlines of the cut that you want to cut it with. Then, I'm talking about if you had the tools, you could cut this part and stick it to a normal wood handle, just like these ones that we just saw. So here, for example, you see this one. It's, I think this type of wood is oak tree. I'm not sure, maybe not. And they basically cut this thing and stick it to it like this, as we can see here. So the top part is bamboo and the lower part is normal wood, and you can actually make one of these if you want to. It's really cheap, this thing, and I think everyone has it back home, so if one of them broke, don't throw it away, invest it into making calligraphy pens. I hope this video was helpful, and you could also make small sizes if you want. Like for example, instead of the 5 centimeter pen, you could make 2.5 centimeters, just like this, and make another one down here. Actually, you could start cutting them straight so that you could use the area down here too, and get more pens out of this big part. So yeah, here you have 2 pens that you could get anywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. If it was impossible for you to get your hand on a pen, like a normal calligraphy pen, you could simply go to the kitchen and find something that is broken and use it to make a calligraphy pen. Now with regards to the pencil, I would say that would be for like leisure time. You want to do some calligraphy, you don't want to carry your tools with you. You could use that in an office or at school because you don't want to carry the inkwell and stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you ever had to make such pens with these materials. And yeah, see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.